What's going on, guys? So I just got in the newest upcoming release from Happyland Studios. At the recording of this will be releasing in the upcoming week. We are talking about Inlandish. Those of you familiar with Happyland might be like, where's his typical label? This actually matches an album cover. So what I'm excited about with this, EJ told me it may not be your number one from Happyland, but I think you'll appreciate it for what it is. He's getting back into the heavier side of storytelling. For those of you that didn't know who EJ Wells was before Happyland, EJ Wells is a musician. He's tying the music back in, and I want to make sure I got it pulled up so I say the name right. Hans Joachim Rodelius Inlandish. That is the inspiration. That specific album, which I've never heard, is the inspiration for this fragrance. And he even went so far as using the album cover with Happyland down on the bottom. So I'm very curious and very excited for EJ because this excites me that he's going back to the original essence of who EJ Wells is and what Happyland Studios started out with. So haven't smelled it yet. I'm going to do that here in just a second. Stay tuned. All right, so I have no notes whatsoever. EJ has no idea I'm planning on doing this. Here we go. So he literally, I said, shh, don't tell me. I want to be surprised with the profile. That was after he told me it probably won't become my number one, but I think you'll appreciate it. He said, okay, if you want the note breakdown after you blind test, let me know. I said, will do. So we're going to smell this, and then we're going to message EJ, see how long it takes him to respond to me, and get the note breakdown, because it's not on the website yet. But I'm very curious about this one. It's super dark. Look at this. That is a dark ass juice, and he uses 30% or above. I wouldn't recommend spraying your clothes with this. Two little light spritzes. Not breathing through my nose yet. This will happen. Oh my God. Wow, this is strong. I'm immediately thinking fragrances like Amouage Overture Man. It's so thick, resinous, ashy, smoky, edgy, and raw. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, that's the first fragrance that comes to mind because I had this exact same experience when Justin had me blind smell in a video on his channel, Amouage Overture Man. That immediately came to mind. I don't remember that. I only smelled it the one time, but there might be more than just one reason on why I think of that. This definitely has elements that I remember of it. It was very like a lit cigarette type of ashy and smoky, but for those of you that can't stand the smell of a lit cigarette, I don't mean that exact smell. Like, it's not off-putting, but this is not for the faint of heart. This is a potent, very niche conversation starter. I don't know, EJ, because I know you're going to see this video. You said it might not be my number one. This might be the best fragrance you've ever made. Because it's not super friendly. It's not a gourmand. It's not a fun coffee fragrance like an Homme for the Holidays or Decaf Edition. With that, with more of the sweetness, it's more of a holiday gourmand, or the heavy booze of a Cripple Creek, or the almond and florals of like a Paisley Dreams, and just like there's so much that he has out there that's incredible fragrances and not super challenging. And I'm not going to sit here and say this is super challenging, but I could see this being off-putting for some that just aren't ready for this. It's overtly masculine. It's very abrasive. It's very in your face. There's people that are going to abso-frickin-lutely love this fragrance. And then there's going to be people that can't understand why there's some people that absolutely love this fragrance. You need to do more of this, EJ. I like smoky. I like spicy. I like resinous. There's a lot of that going on here. Not completely animalic. Has an animalic tone, but I don't get like a bunch of leather or anything like that. So it's not really all that animalic. It's not too much musk or anything. I don't get a heavy ambery presence, but there's this nice spicy tone in the backdrop, and it doesn't really come across like a peppery spice either. Could be, but there's a drier tone to this fragrance. It's very spicy, not very spicy. I would say moderately spicy. Like it's very detectable. Very, very smoky. If you like smoky fragrances, this is it. This is it. This is definitely the smokiest fragrance he's put out. And I'm thinking there's got to be a variety of resins here, darker resins. And it doesn't completely come across as just balsamic. It's very aromatic type of resins. This is amazing. Let's message EJ, shall we? Recording. Blown away. What are the notes? Let's see how long it takes him to respond. If it takes a little while, I'll cut to it so you guys won't have to sit here and wait for multiple minutes or however long. While we're waiting, I haven't sprayed my fragrance of the day. I might suffocate between the hand spray on my hand and these three. Might be kind of rough. Okay, so that didn't take too long. 2 minutes. Here we go. He just responded. The notes are sandalwood, oud, and leather. So there is leather. Because there's a little bit of an animalic tone. Eucalyptus. That's surprising. Tobacco, cardamom, birch. Yes, on the birch. 1,000 times on the birch. Herbal notes, patchouli, cannabis terpenes. I did not see that coming. And mate. So here you go. There's the notes. Wow. There's a lot going on here. I don't really see anything that's very spicy other than cardamom. And it doesn't necessarily smell like cardamom, but there's a nice inherent spice to this fragrance, and it's extremely smoky. There's a lot of birch here. I'm surprised there isn't some resin of some sort. It has a very resinous feel. The way this birch comes across, it like I keep thinking ashy. Like tobacco, ashy, like just burned tobacco, and not even like a cigar type of tobacco. More of a drier leaf tobacco that's been burned. This is extremely fall winter. Cooler fall weather too. Cannabis. Doesn't really smell like marijuana. But that could be helping with the smokiness for sure. Because I have come across some pretty smoky marijuana fragrances. It's very earthy too, very. Patchouli and sandalwood aren't jumping out at me too much. It's not very creamy. I mean, I have this big scent bubble going now. I'm wearing it as my scent of the day. Screw it. This is strong too. I can't stop smelling. This is so good. This is a joy. If you like Middle Eastern style, like I keep thinking Amouage, and specifically Overture Man, you should really try this if you like those types of fragrances. Or, even better, if you've tried Overture Man and you want something of that style but don't want to spend that, because it's like $300+ to get here in the States, you might want to go this route. I'm curious. I want to pull up Overture Man because I can't get Overture Man out of my head. Let's pull up Overture Man's notes and see if there's some strong similarities here, because I get a lot of similarities. I mean, I say that, but that's all I can think of. Here we go. Pulling it up on Parfumo. Grapefruit, cardamom, cumin, ginger, nutmeg, saffron, cognac. So right off the bat, there's very few similarities. Cinnamon, mastic, benzoin, labdanum, patchouli, geranium, myrrh, sandalwood, leather, clary sage, animalic notes, frankincense. So definitely not the same note breakdown, but it's in the same vein. Like I said, I can't get Overture Man out of my mind. And if you like these showstoppers, if you're looking for a showstopper, this, like, you're definitely not going to smell like anyone else pretty much anywhere you go. This is sample worthy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys to blind buy this. This is not blind buy safe. Get a sample of this fragrance. Get a sample of this fragrance. EJ, you outdid yourself with this. I think, 9 times out of 10, because I wear mass appealing, safer stuff on a regular basis, most people assume that's the only thing I like. I like these standout, interesting, quirky, not for everyone type of fragrances too. There's certain ones that just do it for me, and stuff like this does it for me. A lot of smokiness. I like a smoky fragrance. I really do. A lot of spice here. It's a little dry, herbal. It's got this leafy autumn, not quite bonfire type of vibe. I wouldn't say that because it's very, I can imagine this being extremely formal. This is that daring scent that you would want to wear when you really want to make a statement. This is a statement-making fragrance. When this comes out in a few days, get a sample of this. TLTG20 will save you 20%. It's always in my link tree. It's not an affiliate link, but I do have an exclusive 20% off code with EJ. Save yourself 20%. Get a sample if this sounds interesting to you. Performance, I'm confident everything he makes performs great. And this is just creating this massive cloud in my face right now. I'm sure I'm filling this room. I can't wait to see what my wife's going to say when I walk in the living room after I finish recording. But this stuff is freaking amazing. Bravo, EJ. Well, that's my first impressions, and clearly beginning of my first wearing, because I went ahead and sprayed it on. I am so impressed by this fragrance. He's put a lot of really good releases out recently. A lot of really good stuff. Very good to great ratings. I got to give this a 9 out of 10 for a first impression rating. This is outstanding. This is outstanding. I haven't given a 9 in a while. It's been a while. It's that much of a standout for me. This is not something I'm going to wear often. This is not an everyday reach. This is not even a 3 or 4 times a week type of reach. It's situational. Unless this is just your jam. Then yeah, anything's daily wear if it's your thing. This is when I want to make a statement, when I'm going to be going somewhere where I'm going to be around relatives, friends and family, whatever. And being the fragrance guy in the family, I have to pull up with something that's a show out. This goes into that rotation of fragrances that I'm going to choose from when I need a show out. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. I'm telling you, sample this. If anything I had to say sounds interesting to you, get a sample. Any of you that watch me on a regular basis, you know this. Everything's my genuine reactions. I'm very blown away by this fragrance. Not too many have done this to me this year in 2022 to where I'm like, holy shit, this is incredible. That's how I feel about this one. It's so smoky. It's just so smoky. This, magnificent. Get your nose on this. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on at least a sample of Inlandish from Happyland Studio and you give a spray now, you're either going to be mad as hell at me because you can't believe I convinced you to buy a sample of something so smoky and outlandish, or you're going to thank me later because you're going to end up absolutely having to get a bottle of this. That's what it is. Have a good one, guys.